Hello students, today I am going to discuss with you lesson number 5 titled On Giving Advice, written by Joseph Edison. First of all, I would like to discuss a brief introduction to the writer Joseph Edison. English author, politician and distinguished classical scholar Joseph Addison is considered one of the finest periodical essayists of the 18th century. Means he has been a renowned essayist of the 18th century. With his friend Richard Steele, he founded The Spectator, which is a daily magazine. In this short essay, Addison considers the persuasive power of fables. Fables means stories. Such narratives, he says, are effective ways of giving advice because readers are left to imagine that they are counseling themselves. According to the writer Joseph Addison, reading fables is an effective way of advice. Means a person by reading any fable can change his behavior. It is a best way of taking advice or giving advice. So let us now discuss the lesson on giving advice. We are generally unwilling to receive advice from others. We think that the man who is giving us advice is insulting our understanding and treating us like children or idiots. According to the writer Joseph Addison, we are generally unwilling, that the human beings are generally unwilling. They don't want to receive advice from anyone because we think that a person who is giving us advice is insulting us, he is offending us, he is insulting our understanding. When a person tries to give us any advice, we think that the person who is giving us advice is insulting our understanding and he is treating us like children who have not sense of any kind, or we think that he is taking us as idiots or stupids. We consider the advice that we are given for our welfare is actually a piece of rudeness. When another person is trying to give us advice, we think that he is behaving with us in a rude manner. The person who advises us thinks that he is superior to us. The person who is advising us for anything, he considers himself superior than ourselves, than us. The advice giver thinks that the receiver of advice is defective either in conduct or understanding. The person who gives advice, he thinks that to whom he is giving advice is a person with flaws, with so many vices. Defective means that another person who is receiving the advice is full of so many flaws. Either in conduct means behavior, that he thinks that his behavior is not good, or he is not able to understand anything as fast as the person who is giving advice can. There is nothing so difficult as making the giving of advice pleasant. All the writers of the olden days and the modern times try their level best to make their advice agreeable. According to writer, to make the giving of advice pleasant is most difficult work. So many writers who belong to the olden days, means the ancient writers and the modern writers, they try to they try their level best they try their level best to make their advice agreeable. Many writers use several ways to make their advice pleasant. It is very difficult to make someone's advice pleasant for the another person who is taking it. Some give us their instructions in the best chosen words. Others do so in sweet words of poetry. Still others make use of proverbs to give their advice. According to the writer, some persons, while giving advice, they use best chosen words. They use selective words to advise someone. Others do so in sweet words of poetry. Some other persons, they use sweet words of poetry. They use very figurative language to advise another person. Still others make use of proverbs to give their advice, and the remaining persons, they use proverbs or idioms while giving advice to another person. Means each and every person who is giving advice to another person use different type of language to make their advice pleasant. Addison thinks that the best way of giving advice is through a made up story or fable. Fable means story with a moral. According to Joseph Addison, the best way of giving advice is through a made up story or fable, that by reading any fable or by reading any story, we can get a good advice. Giving advice by telling a fable is the best way of giving advice. By listening to advice in a fable, nobody feels insulted. When a person gives advice to another person, the person who is getting advice feels insulted. But when a person takes advice or listens the advice through a fable, he doesn't feel insulted. It doesn't shock the receiver of advice. He doesn't feel insulted. On reading a fable, we feel that we are advising ourselves. We read the author for the sake of the story. We consider his moral lesson in the fable as our own conclusion. When we read any fable, we feel that we are advising ourselves, not another person is advising us for anything. We read the author for the sake of the story, and we consider his moral lesson in the fable as our own conclusion, and we take the moral lesson in that fable as our own conclusion. We take advice from the fable according to us. We do not think that the writer is giving us any advice. We are unable to see or feel the advice in the fable. We are taught by surprise. Why we don't get insulted by taking advice through a fable? Because we are taught by surprise. We don't know. We think that we are reading only a story with a moral, but indirectly we are taking an advice from that fable, and we are so this is the reason we don't get upset or get insulted while reading a fable and taking an advice. We become wiser and better without knowing that we are getting wiser and better. By this method, the man feels that he is directing himself. By reading a fable or the story with a moral, we get more wiser. Wiser means intelligent, and more better in our behavior or conduct with others. By this method, the man feels that he is directing himself. If we try to examine ourselves, we shall find that the mind is pleased when it takes part in any action. It gives the human mind an idea of her own perfection, of her own perfections and abilities. This natural pride and ambition of the soul is very much satisfied in the reading of a fable. If we try to examine ourselves, we shall find that the mind is pleased when it takes part in any action. When we take part in any action, our mind is pleased. We feel pleasant. In the reading of a fable, the reader is involved in half of the performance. When we read a fable, we get involved in the half of the performance of that story. Everything appears to him like a discovery of his own. He is busy all the while in applying characters and circumstances. When we read a fable or any short story or story with a moral, we get involved into the performance of that story, and we come to know about ourselves, and we try to imagine ourselves in place of the characters and the circumstances which are being described in that story or the fable. In olden days, wise men gave advice to their kings through fables. Birbal used to advise Akbar by fables. There is one good example of this nature in a Turkish tale. The writer Addison tells us that in olden days, in the ancient times, the intelligent men or the wise men, they used to give advice through the characters and circumstances of the fables. For example, Birbal used to advise Akbar by fables. There is one good example of this nature in a Turkish tale. The Sultan Mahmud of Turkey had fought many wars with other kings. He was very cruel at home. He filled his kingdom with ruin and desolation. Half of the Persian population was destroyed. The vizier of this great sultan had pretended to have learnt to understand the language of birds. This is an example of taking an advice or giving an advice through a tale, fable. Once Sultan Mahmud of Turkey, who had fought many wars with other kings, and he was very cruel. He ruined his whole kingdom. Half of the Persian population was destroyed because of his wars. Once the vizier of this great Sultan Mahmud had pretended that he can understand the language of birds. One day the vizier was returning from hunting with his sultan. They saw a group of owls. The sultan wanted to know what the two owls were saying to each other. Once the Sultan Mahmud and his vizier both were returning after hunting. They saw a group of owls. Both owls were talking to each other. The Sultan ordered his vizier to listen to their talk and give him an account of it. The vizier went near the tree on which the owls sat. He pretended to be very attentive to the owls. When they were both returning, they saw two owls talking to each other. At the same time, The king, the Sultan Mahmud, ordered his vizier to listen to their talk and give them advice. Sultan Mahmud asked his vizier to listen to their talk and tell him what they were talking about. The vizier went near the tree on which the owls sat. He pretended to be very attentive. Attentive means careful to the talk of the owls. He then came to the Sultan and told him that he had heard a part of the conversation between the two owls. After returning from the owls, the vizier told Sultan that he had heard a part of the conversation of two owls. One of these owls had a son and the other had a daughter. They wanted to settle a marriage between the son and the daughter. The father of the son told the father of the daughter that he would consent. Consent here means he would agree to the marriage if he would settle upon his daughter 50 ruined villages for her dowry. The vizier of Sultan Mahmud, told him that both of the owls were talking about the father of the son, that both of them were talking about their son and the daughter. One of the owls had a son and the other owl had a daughter. They wanted to settle a marriage between son and daughter. He said that the father of the son told the father of the daughter that he would agree to marry his son to his daughter if he would settle upon his daughter 50 ruined, destructed villages for her dowry. The father of the daughter said in his reply that he would give her 500 villages in place of 50 on the condition of father of son. Father of daughter replied him that he would give his daughter 500 villages in place of 50 as dowry. But the father of son replied that he didn't want ruined or destructed villages. The fable tells us that the Sultan was so touched by the fable, he rebuilt the towns and villages which had been destroyed. From that time, he always worked for the welfare of his people. This fable, which was told by the vizier to Sultan, touched the heart of Sultan to a great extent. Afterwards, he rebuilt the towns and villages which he himself destroyed. He rebuilt all those towns and villages. From that time, he always worked for the welfare of his subjects or of his people. So students, this was the discussion of our today's chapter on giving advice. Tomorrow we will continue with the next lecture. Thank you very much.